Sports world mourning the loss of a true gentle giant.
Former Houston Rocket and Basketball Hall of Famer Dikembo Mutombo lost his battle with brain cancer. He was just 58 years old. Mutombo played 18 seasons in the NBA, earning 8 All-Star selections and 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He was known for his smile and famously wagging his finger, the "not in my house" finger wave, after blocking a shot. Following his playing career, he served as an international ambassador for the sport and worked extensively for charitable and humanitarian causes.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver releasing this statement, reading in part, Dikembo Mutombo was simply larger than life. On the court, he was one of the greatest shot blockers and defensive players in the history of the NBA. Off the floor, he poured his heart and soul into helping others. And in fact, Mutombo originally wanted to be a doctor and work to improve medical care in his native Congo. It was a very personal mission.
Sherman Chow, who's had the privilege of interviewing him, shares that aspect of the legendary player. Sherman?
I remember him in his distinctive gravelly voice telling me that his mother had died of a stroke and that he had come to the U.S. to attend Georgetown planning to be a doctor. Well, we know that story took a change when legendary coach John Thompson convinced Dikembo to play basketball. But the lack of modern medical care for his mother stuck with him. Something the former Rocket shared while appearing on Great Day Houston.
After my mom death, I was struck because my parents was living just 5 minutes from the hospital. I felt like something need to be done.
It took him a decade and tens of millions of dollars to build a hospital in Kinshasa named after his mother. And the 7'2" center was shameless in his fundraising for this important cause.
He would literally go into the opposing team's locker room after the game to ask them to assist him in helping raise money for the Democratic Republic of Congo.
They may have seemed unlikely friends, but Dikembo and Houston's own tropical disease expert Dr. Peter Hotez worked to fight disease in Africa. The pair bonded over efforts like the eradication of polio and the global fight against AIDS. Hotez, who remembers Dikembo as much for his humanitarian work as his time on the basketball court, called Mutombo a wonderful and generous man. Dikembo and his wife were married nearly 3 decades with 3 biological children, and they'd adopted 4 nieces and nephews. I remember Dikembo and Rose telling me that they'd met standing in line getting visas. This was in Kinshasa, but he was leaving the next day for the U.S. He promised to call her, and she said, "Yeah, sure, right." Well, he did, every day for the next month, and you know the rest. In the newsroom, Sherman Chow, KHOU 11 News.